Tom Holland embarking on a new venture, opening up about his journey to sobriety. I want to talk about sobriety, but you made all of us jealous just now.
Yes.
Telling us your golf handicap.
Yeah, and it all came down after I got sober. Honestly.
Yeah. Is that true?
Well,
it's been 3 years, right?
It's been nearly 3 years, 3 years January 1st. And one of my favourite things about my sober life is the 9 a.m. tea time with all my friends, where I'm fresh as a daisy and I'm like dragging them onto the tee box. So I love it, and it's been fantastic.
What
so
else have
far.
you learned about yourself?
I think one of the biggest things I learned after getting sober was how much I could handle and how more capable I am in certain situations. I think dealing with adversity and being on set, and sets are very busy places, they're very stressful. And I think back in the day, I would have allowed it to stress me out a lot more. But then since getting sober, I can really take it in my stride and like get on with it and just really enjoy every day.
And so how have the people around you, including your partners in Zendaya, how have they helped you on this journey?
I think just by showing an overwhelming sense of support. I think I really realized who my real friends were. I realized I had a lot of friends that the only thing I had in common was that I really liked drinking. So I think learning who my real friends were and getting an overwhelming sense of support from them and enjoying a nightlife experience with them without the pressure of having a drink was really a beautiful experience. And like even one of my best mates, who is a big drinker, has now decided to take a year off and see how it goes. And I love having that kind of influence over people. I think it's really awesome, and hopefully Biro will be something that can help him get through that.
And what is Biro?
Biro is this new company that I started. I'm super excited about it. It's kind of my first step into the commercial world. It's a non-alcoholic beer. I've been developing it for well over a year now. It's been a passion of mine, from tasting the samples to designing the can to building the brand. Not so much involved in the financial strategy. I'm like the most uneducated kid in New York right now. I didn't really go to school, so when they start talking about all that stuff, I get a little lost. But it's been awesome. I've absolutely loved it.
They've made real progress in making the non-alcoholic beer taste like the real thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's been a big thing for me. Like, the thing I wanted to try and create with Biro was to mimic the experience of having a beer as much as possible. The taste is important, yes, but so much about drinking a beer is about that experience.
Yes, the whole atmosphere of it.
So I really want to try and find a way to be on tap. I really wanted to create a lager that had a true foam. I really wanted the carbonation of the beer to be as accurate and as truthful to the kind of household names. So Grant Wood, our brewmaster, is an absolute genius. And we would sit down together and try all of these different samples and try them against our competitors and hopefully create something really special. But I think what we've got is the most premium and truthful version of what a real beer should taste like.
You've had a lot of great people around you, a lot of support around you. You've been very, very fortunate in that regard, and you'd be the first one to say that. You said your dad is your go-to for advice. What's the best piece of advice your dad's ever given you?
The best piece of advice my dad has given me. You're right, my dad is my go-to person. Arguably because I think one of my dad's best pieces of advice for me in the future, when I one day become a dad, is don't be friends with your kids. Your job is to parent your kids. You can be friendly, but don't be their friend. And I think what's great about that is that he'll always be honest. If I do something that he doesn't like or doesn't agree with, he'll always be very vocal, and I think that's really important, especially when you do this for a living. But the best piece of advice my dad ever gave me is, as long as you try your best, you can always be happy with the outcome because you did your best. So for me, I'm 100% in with everything that I do, and that's all down to my dad.
That's so lovely. We've been hearing a lot of news about a project that you're involved in with the great Christopher Nolan. There's not a lot of details about it. We do know Matt Damon's involved.
Listen, all I can say is that I'm incredibly excited.
Here we go.
And obviously honoured, but that's all I can say, because to be honest, that's really all I know.
And you will sign up for a Christopher Nolan movie sight unseen because it's Christopher Nolan.
100%, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. When it came in, the opportunity came in, it was the phone call of a lifetime, reminiscent of getting that call about Spider-Man 10 years ago. It's an amazing thing for me. I'm super proud, and yeah, I'm really, really excited.
And speaking of Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe, you said 10 years ago when you got that, Robert Downey Jr., he stood up for you
Yes,
in
he
your
really
debut,
did.
and that had an impact on you.
Yeah, I admire Robert probably more than anyone I've worked with in this business. The way that he leads and sets the example of how we should behave on set, how we should lead on set. He knows everyone's name, he's always on time, he's super professional, he's very kind. And when we did my audition, I had 5 or 6 pages of dialogue, and then when we got to set to shoot the actual scene, they'd cut it down to a page and a half, 2 pages, and he was the one that stepped up and sort of said, like, where have all the kids' lines gone? And I just remember being so grateful that he remembered that, and he felt like
It's really great.
he wanted to give me that shot to kind of do something on that job, and I'm just so grateful to him. We're still good friends to this day. I'm seeing his show tomorrow night or the night after, so I'm excited to see him do that, and obviously delighted that he's making a return to the MCU.
What can you tell us about Spider-Man 4?
Again, all I can tell you is that it's happening. We are super close to having a creative that I think is really worthy of the fans, but I think now we feel confident that the idea is strong enough that we can finally say that this is going ahead. We're going to shoot next summer. The idea is crazy. It's a little different to anything we've done before. But I think the fans are going to really respond to
Well,
it.
that's a pretty good tease right there. It is great to see you doing so well. Congratulations on the new
Thank you so
project.
much.